In this video, I'm going to show you how to create calibration datasets that can be viewed within the plots available in Flood Modeler. Calibration datasets allow us to compare the results for our known events to our simulated results, and we can then tweak the parameters as required to improve the accuracy of our model. To create a calibration dataset, we initially need the river network loaded and active in Flood Modeler, so I've already done this here. Now in our right-hand panel group, we want to navigate to the Toolbox panel. This is the fourth tab along by default. Then we want to double-click on Calibration Tools, then 1D River Models, and we can see we've got two options here, one for the time series results and one for long section results. I'll show both of these briefly in this video. So first, looking at the time series option, we'll just double-click and that opens the tool in a new window for us. I'm going to start from scratch for this video. So initially I'll provide a name for my calibration file to open an existing file instead. I can also give a title if I want to, but this is optional. Then we see that this field, source data file, is not editable. This is showing the 1D River Network file. This is very important when adding new calibration data, as in a minute we'll provide the names of the nodes themselves, and the names available will be those that are given in our active river network. So you can always close the tool at this point and make a different river network active if you realise that this is not the correct network for your calibration data. We also see we have a field here for the time units, and we can click and adjust these via this drop down if we need to. Now we want to add the data itself, so we'll click Add. We want to select the node label. So again, this list is showing all the nodes that are available in my active river network. We'll select which data we're using, so for example, the stage, and we could provide a comment if we wanted to. We'll then move over to the right-hand table and provide the data itself. So we can do this row by row by clicking Add up here and simply adding the time and the value of the stage in this case. And then we can click Add again to add more rows to that. And we've also got a button to remove rows if we want to. We can add data for multiple nodes. So let's say I also have data for another location in my network. I'll click Add again over here and again pick the node that this relates to. And we can pick the variable. This could be different to the variable that we've used above. For example, the flow in this case. Again, we could give a comment if we wanted to. And we'll move to the right-hand table to provide the data. Let's try pasting some data in this time. So if we go, I've got a spreadsheet over here with some data given in it. If I took some of this and then just copy that to my clipboard, and then I can simply use this paste button and it's pasted the values in for me there. I'm now going to save my calibration file. So I'll click Save down the bottom here. And we can see that the name that we provided is already given, but we could change this if we wanted to. We can choose a location and click Save. So now this data is ready for me to add to a plot of my river results, so then I can see how well my known data matches up with the calculated result from my model. And now let's quickly look at the tool for the custom data, so the long section calibration data. Again, we'll double click to open that tool. Again, we can add a file name or we can browse to an existing file. We can provide a title, but this is completely optional. And we've got the river network shown here. We don't have that time units drop down in this case because we're looking at long section data instead. We can provide multiple data sets as we did last time. So we can click Add to start with our first. We can give our data set a name. Just put data here. And again, we've got a variable. It's chosen stage for us by default, but we can click there and we've got a drop down so we can choose whichever of these we want. And again, we'll move to the right table to add the data itself. And this time we want to give the node label. If we click Add, give the node label, and then give the value of the stage at that node. Alternatively, this button here allows us to quickly add a whole selection of nodes from our active network. So if I click on this to open it, we can see that I can check various nodes that I want to add. I can invert that selection. I could check all of them or I can check none of them. And again, if I just click OK, this adds these all into my table for me really quickly and easily. And we can either add in values one at a time, as we were before, or again, we can paste here. So if I go back over here, take a few of these values, and again, I'll copy those to my clipboard. And then if I select the node that is my starting node, I can then right click and select paste. Please note that if instead of selecting over on this side, we select here, so we've got this cursor showing, and then we right click, we can see immediately we've got a slightly different menu showing. So this indicates to us that we've done something slightly incorrect. If we click paste now, it puts all of the values all in a row rather than splitting them out one by one. So I find the easiest way is to click over on the left hand side there, then right click, and again move on that smaller menu and we can click paste and it does them one at a time for us. Now both the time series and long section calibration tools have this additional tab to add metadata. So I'll just show this once in this video because they're exactly the same. Here we have a variety of commonly used options. So I can give a gauge name, I could give coordinates, such as X and Y here. We could provide comments, we could provide links to photos. So these are all just free type fields for us to enter whatever we want. We also have some helpful options, such as providing the details of the nearest river node. So here I've got a nice little drop down that appears and I can select my node from this drop down to make it really easy for me to add the data in. We've also got the event start and end date. And here, if I click on the drop down, we've actually got a little calendar that comes up for us. So again, we can enter that data really easily. And if we've got any data that we want to enter that's not already provided in this list, we can simply add this down the bottom here. If we click add, we can then provide a key and a value. And again, we've got the option to add at the top here. So we could provide some completely different set of metadata if we wanted for a different gauge name, etc. Again, don't forget to save once you've filled in all of your data, and you'll be reminded of this if you try to close the tool without saving. And once you've got your completed cal or cus file, we can then add these to the time series or the long section plots and compare the known data to the results from our river simulation. Thank you for watching this tutorial video on how to create a river calibration dataset. For further information, please visit www.floodmodeler.com.